Shalom Aleichem, this is Rabbi Kovacs for Shabbat Shalach. We continue in chapter 6, Perek Vav of Gittin, which interestingly has in Yanim, has topics of shlichut, of sending agents, as in shlach, as in the parsha where the spies were sent as the agents on behalf of the Jewish people. So yesterday we talked all about a woman making an agent to receive her get or bring her get from a different location. If it's a shliach kabbalah, an agent to receive the get, then when it reaches the hand of the agent, it's as if it's in her hand. Now, what about in Mishnah Daled? Haveli Gitti, bring my get. Now, this Lashon, we'll see, does not make a Shliach Kabbalah. She's simply appointing this agent to bring the get to her hand. When it gets to her hand, the divorce is effective. So in this case, Ochelet Betruma, she can still eat Truma, and this is if she was born a Yisrael and then became a Mrs. Cohen, and she's eating Truma on account of being married to Mr. Cohen. She can keep eating Truma until she actually gets the get to her hand, even though she knows that when the Shliach brings the get and gives it to her, she will be divorced. What if she says, Hitkabel li giti, accept for me the get? Asura lecho b'truma miyad. She cannot eat Truma immediately. Now, really, it's as soon as the Shliach leaves the building, because her Shliach Kabbalah might bump into the Shliach Holacha, the man sending the get on behalf of the husband's agent. He might already be on the way and might bump into her Shliach Kabbalah right away. So there's a suffix that she's divorced pretty much as soon as he's out of her sight. Now the Mishnah brings the case, she said, Hitkabel li giti, accept for me my gets, b'makom ploni, in a specific place. So achelet b'truma achegia gets le'otu makom. So she can keep eating truma until they know the get got to that place. So you calculate, what, does it take a few days, a week? And she's makbid, she's instructed the shaliach to only accept the get in that place. So if he meets the agent of the husband, they'll both go to that place and do the get transfer over there. Rabbi Eliezer says it's as if she's made a shliach kabbalah, it's effective immediately, because his opinion is we don't really let the woman dictate the terms of where the get transfer is valid. That particular issue does not depend on her on her intent. On to Mishnah. Hey, Mishnah 5, HaOmer. A man says, Kitvu get utnu le'ishti, write up a get and give it to my wife. Now this kitvu, utnu, is plural, so he's talking to more than one person. Garshuha, or uses the word divorce her, or he says, Kitvu igeret, or he says, write for her the igeret. Now igeret sometimes means a letter, but a get is also called an igeret shivukim, a letter of abandonment, so we know he means a get. Utnu law, and you can give it to her. Hare elu yichtavu v'yitnu. So these men who've been appointed the agents of the husband to write and deliver the get to her may indeed do so. His intention is clear that he wants an effective divorce. Now the Mishnah brings cases that are a bit too vague to know. Pitrua, make her released. Bartner says patrua could mean like make her pater, make her exempt from a debt or an obligation she has, or uses the word parnasuha, take care of her, feed her. We've seen this lashon by ketuvot. That's the widow's entitled to parnasa, so maybe that means he wants, her to be entitled to the ksuva, or maybe it means something else. Asula kanimos, do to her like the letter of the law. Asula karoi, do to her what is fitting. Lo marklum. These are not valid declarations of a husband stating his specific intent to have the get written and given to his wife. Now, finally, the Mishnah brings cases where we imply, based on the circumstances, that the husband really wants us to give the get, even if his lashon, his wording, is incomplete. Barishona, originally, Hayu Orim, our sages would say, Hayotze bekolar, a man is going out to be tried for a capital case with a non-Jewish court. We've seen the non-Jewish courts were typically prone to execute people, especially execute Jews, so the kolar is like the thing around the neck. We call it a collar, but here it's like a chain around his neck. It doesn't look good for this guy. It looks like he's going to be executed by the non-Jewish authorities. Amar, and he says to the Jews, Kitvu get lishti, write a get for my wife. So he didn't say the tznu part, the give part. Hare elu yichtavu v'yitnu. Hazru lomar, then later they said, Af hamfarish, even someone who's going out to sea on a long journey. A yotzi b'shaira, someone's going out on a caravan through the desert. We understand there's a lot of dangers involved. If he says this incomplete lashon, he says kitvu, he really means kitvu utznu. not only write it, but also give it, because he's going into a place of danger, and perhaps he wants his wife to be taken care of if he disappears, or want her to not have to have yibum with his brother, or chalitza if he ends up not making it back. Rabbi Shimon Shazuri Omer Af Mesugan. Rabbi Shimon Shazuri adds to this leniency that kitvu also means tznu, of a man who's gravely ill. He's bedridden from illness, and he's concerned it might be his last illness, and so he wants the get written to his wife. They could also give it. Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos, Tizkul Mitzvot.